Jamal LaFrance for Charters.com, and I'm standing with Coach Hurd and Coach Stevens, and we finished our pre-exercise movements. Now we're moving into lower body strength. Coach Hurd, tell us the importance of lower body strength.
Well, the game of football is played with your lower body. It's a game of stance. It's a game of leverage. You have to be able to generate great force and explosion, and you also have to maintain the point of attack. Where that generates from is your lower body strength. We're going to show you some various lower body exercises today. If you're strong through here in your lower body, you'll be able to generate a lot more torque out your hands too in your upper body. So this is probably one of the most vital areas that we need to continually train our athletes with.
First exercise we'll show you today is squat. It's a great exercise. It's the strongest position your body can be in when your hips, knees, and ankles are flexed. You notice Coach Hurd's feet stay flat the entire time he's on the platform squatting. His knees won't go any further than his toe line, and they might actually say behind the toe line. Notice as he squats down, his torso stays relatively erect, but his angle will change the deeper he gets. Once he gets towards his thigh being parallel with the ground, and we're looking at the middle of the thigh, his torso will lean forward, and the angle will actually match his shin angle. So he'll get down to the bottom of the squat, pause under control. You'll notice his knees stay in line with his hips and his ankles. He'll stand back up to position and then repeat. The next variation we'll show you is squatting with a bar on your back, which is very similar to what you see in most gym settings. Coach will have the bar across the top of his trapezius muscles, which is actually the top of his shoulder blades or scapular area. His hands will be in contact with the bar, and you want to get a comfort level. Notice his eyes are going to look straight ahead, which is going to keep his chest properly aligned. The bar actually makes it a little bit harder because now the center of gravity is shifted up. As he squats down, you notice his body position is the same as he was. His eyes, his feet, everything's in contact, the same range of motion, and it's just a more dynamic way. Now having a bar will give you a little more stress in the core. Besides that, it's the same exercise. Now we move to the dumbbell variation, very similar to the bar. Notice Coach has the head of the dumbbell on his shoulder. It gives you an easier way to control it. If you're at home, this is a great way to squat no matter what weight you have at home. The last variation of squat we'll show you is a single leg squat. There are multiple ways to do this. Coach Hurd is going to have his back foot as a somewhat of a balance point on these plates here. These plates are about 6 to 8 inches off the ground. What you want is a height where your trail leg hip flexor isn't overly stretched or stressed, and then the actual foot is about even with the ankle on the leg you're using. Notice his front leg, the shin angle, and the thigh angle are exactly the same as the squat position. And actually you'll find if someone has some range of motion issues, they actually can get a little more mobility and range of motion with the single leg version. This is a more advanced version because of the balance situation and also the weight of your body on one leg instead of your weight being distributed through two. It's also a good variation for those people who do a lot of things on one leg, especially runners.
How often would you recommend doing lower body work? How many days a week?
The typical, at least twice a week, the way we normally train in an off-season setting. You can do it as often as 3 days a week, depending on how you break it up. That would always be at least a 48-hour gap in between days. So I would say a minimum of 1, but we really recommend 2, no more than 3 days a week.
Well, there you have it. Tune in next week for lunges.